So I'm sitting here eating my kale and looking all kinds of ways. But I thought I'll do a wee video, a little video on parenting, which I usually don't. I don't know if this is my first one. I mention my kids a lot, but I've never actually done a parenting video. But I just thought I was in the kitchen and I was feeling exhausted, tired, and it was time to make dinner. So I usually put the music on really loud, and just dance while I cook or clean or whatever, and just sing or whatever. And oftentimes my kids come into the kitchen with me, so there's lots of dancing for all of us. And today, like, it wasn't like different, but it was just, so this song, it was a song by Tasha Cobbs Leonard. She's a gospel singer, African American, and she's just talking about how she's loved by God no matter what she does. Like, God still loves her. And for some reason, right, sometimes I feel like we almost have like a sixth sense, for lack of a better word. And I know for the Christians out there, it's the Holy Spirit. It's like, but it was just like my kids were both hugging me, and I just started to cry. And it was just this realization, not that I haven't had it before, because I have like several realizations on the same thing all the time, if that makes sense to anybody. But it was just so strong, and it was just like my kids are God's way of letting me know that one of God's ways of letting me know that I am loved. If you know a bit of my story, I was, don't want to repeat it, but just spent most of my life looking for love. I didn't even know that that's what I was looking for. And now I finally understand. I can finally see love from God's perspective, from the divine. I can see love from like my spouse, from Tim. I can see love from my children, and it's just like all this love that I did not get for years, and now I'm getting it. And like, it was just overwhelming. It was just overwhelming. And just wanted to encourage somebody, if you're parenting while feeling traumatized, because that's me most days, right? I have all this trauma that I'm trying to deal with, that I'm trying to heal from, so that I can be a better parent. And oftentimes we end up feeling defeated because we realize that we did not get a lot of stuff that we would have used now with our parenting, with our loving our spouse, with all of that, because we have all these love needs that were just never met. And so a lot of the times we feel like failures. We feel like we almost like we don't deserve to be parents. But I want to tell you that parenting in itself can be healing. So parenting, I believe, for me, it has been a way of seeing what I didn't get. Let me tell you, like, I always had so many issues, right? So many, clearly, like, but my issues did not become highlighted until I was pregnant with my first child. And that's when I started to realize, oh, wait, like, sorry, it's just kale. Like, oh, wait, like, like, you don't know how to love, you don't know how to parent, you don't know how to, like, and I started to realize all the trauma that I went through, all the abuse, the molestation, like all these things that happened to me. And I'd just been walking through life like, I'm this great singing, preaching, Black girl from Africa, from Kenya, like, I'm amazing. And yet I was carrying all this baggage and all this emptiness. And then I get pregnant, and all of a sudden I'm like, oh, I was gonna curse, but oh flip, um, like I have issues and I don't know what to do, and I cannot get apologies from the people that I feel owed me an apology. And I'm at this crossroad and I'm like, oh my God. And for the first year, I kept saying, I feel like a terrible mother. I feel like a terrible mother. And I remember somebody while I was at the seminary being like, why do you always say that? And it was deeply rooted in things that I had gone through, and the verbal things that I had been told, the non-verbal things that I had been told. And now, like, I still have bad days. Like, I'm not gonna lie, like some days are tough, but most days are really good. And I've learned to let go of trying to control people and life, and kind of like almost go with the flow, but obviously with boundaries in place. For example, since Elijah started school, it's much harder for my house, say, to be perfect all the time, because and usually like I would be yelling at like myself, at Tim, at like the kids, you know, whenever they make a mess, because I'm like, the house needs to be clean. But I've let go of that, and letting go of that has actually been quite healing. And I'm getting to spend all this time doing homework with my kid, right? Not that homework is fun, but you know, I get to spend time with him in that regard. I get to spend time with him watching his shows, because like he enjoys them, and he's always like, mommy, come and watch, but I'm too busy cooking, cleaning, whatever. And then, you know, I get to spend time like there now, like in between cooking, we sat down and raced our cars. Like, we just found cars, like toy cars, and started racing. Like me, that just never really got to like color in and do, you know, kid things sometimes when I was a child. I'm getting to do those things now, and those things are healing to me. So anyway, I'm not even sure what direction I'm gonna go with this, but I just wanted to encourage somebody. You're parenting and you feel exhausted, you feel like you're a failure, you feel like you just don't have what it takes. Like, quite honestly, nobody does, right? Everybody's winging it. But I think there is healing in acknowledging that you don't have everything that you would have liked to have when you before you got to this place, right? And acknowledging that you don't have it, but also trying to create these beautiful moments with your kids that they're gonna remember forever. Like, showing them that they're loved does not mean just providing for them, like financially, or, you know, a roof over their heads. This is what we used to hear, you know, I did this so that you could have an education, and I did this so that you could have this and you could have that. And like, all those things are well and good, but the better thing for me, the better thing is your parent spending time with you and dancing in the kitchen with you. And, you know, you like, oh, Elijah comes in and like, he's like, mommy, I'm gonna help. So he holds my hand while I stir the cooking, and, you know, stuff like that. Like, those moments, like, that's what matters. And you'll find that when you pour into those moments, that they bring healing to you. They bring tears of joy. And when I was crying earlier, Elijah was just like, mommy, why are you sad? And I was like, I'm not sad, I'm actually really, really happy. And I was like, you boys are the best thing that ever happened to me. Tim too, but you know, it's a different kind of love, isn't it? Like, when you have kids, like, they're the best thing that ever happened to me. And I have found so much healing in being a parent. And I know the parenting is not for everyone. I know not everyone is gonna have a baby, but for those who do, Like, try and find these moments, these snippets in time in your day that are so important for your child. And you'll realize that they're so important for you as well, that they bring you healing. Parenting can be healing.